In many disciplines of sports, the rotation is something required. Think about a punch, a throw, a kick, a jump. Whatever you may think about that involves your trunk movement requires rotation. And also more in general in your daily life, you want to be able to move your trunk freely, right? I'm the flexibility guy, Coach Elia, and in this video I'm going to show you the best exercises you want to use to increase your body rotation and increase your overall body flexibility. Let's go. The flexibility guy, Coach Elia. To start working on our rotation, we're gonna see a couple of exercises we can do on the floor using the force of gravity and maybe a weight to create the stretch. And this is the really basic. So we do want to start from here because we can feel how the rotation works. All right, first exercise you do want to use for your trunk rotation. Now it's really simple. You just need some yoga blocks and a weight. What you do want to do is this. You want to start lie down on your back like this. You want to take the weight with you and you want to put the weight on your opposite shoulder. In this case, I'm gonna use my right, all right? You can put the weight on your right shoulder or you can just grab the weight with your hand to keep your shoulder over there, all right? Now, since I have this weight, I can use it on my shoulder like this. Now, from this position here, you do want to at first start the movement with your hips. So you want to do something like this, all right? Rotation with your hips. You keep your trunk in place. It's just that you're moving your hips. From here, top leg starts. So my right leg, in this example, my right leg is the same leg as my right shoulder where I put my weight, all right? And now from here, I move my knee toward the floor. I can adjust the height of the yoga block, okay, until I can touch the yoga block with my knee. I push down strongly with my arm here, with my hand on my knee, and I keep the opposite shoulder well pressed against the floor. That's why I have this weight here, because I do want to keep the shoulder down. You can use the weight or not, but the most important thing is that you do want to have the shoulder well pressed against the floor. Now from here, I relax and I rotate more and more and more. As soon as I can feel that I can relax on the yoga block with my knee, I can kind of further increase the stretch by rotating the yoga block and getting deeper into the stretch. Of course, until I can eventually touch the floor. First with my foot, then with the knee. A little tip I can give you here is to breathe at all times. So you do want to create the stress almost by breathing, all right? The breathing is so important here. So you do want to exhale deeply as you are here. You can remain here for 20 to 30 breaths, trying every 5 breaths to get a little deeper into the stretch. The most important detail here is that you're not moving your opposite shoulder. That's why you have the weight on top of the other shoulder. Because in this way, you're not gonna move that shoulder and you're gonna create this rotation effect, rotation movement on your trunk, which is going to increase your rotation flexibility and all your trunk muscles flexibility, all right? So this is the first exercise you do want to do to increase your rotation range of motion. Second exercise for your rotations. This is really similar to the first exercise. We're just gonna use a different technique. You need a weight, not too much though, all right? So careful about the weight. You just have to use a weight that guides you into the stretch, all right? Now, from here, you take your legs together in front of you and then you move your legs to the side completely. You do want to touch the floor with your knees. This way, all right? So completely to the side. You just turn the whole body to the side, this way, perpendicular to the floor with your trunk. From this position here, you do want to start with the weight on top, keep your knees together and against the floor. Now from here, I rotate, reach the bottom, come back up. As I rotate, I don't want to lift my knees off the floor or my hips off the floor. I do want to keep my lower body in the same position at all times, all right? So I strongly go into the stretch and then I come back. On the last rep, I can remain in the stretch for longer, for example, for 5 to 10 breaths. Try not to lose my hips there, all right? So I push my hips down and my knees down with this arm here, and I rotate with the body here. I'm just using 2 kilos, but that's a lot. That's a lot, 4 pounds or something like that. And that's a lot, all right? So this is a really strong exercise you can use for your rotation. Make sure not to move your hips, not to move your knees as you are in the position. Of course, you do want to repeat on both sides. If you have a strong difference between your sides, you want to perform 1 set more on your weak side, all right? So this is the second one. Let's say the third one. Well, having the force of gravity and maybe a weight that pushes you down into your rotation is fantastic, isn't it? You just say that and oh wow, the word is just wow. It's so comfortable, it's so beautiful, isn't it? But generally speaking, sometimes you have to create that rotation and you have to control that rotation. What should you do? Well, I got an exercise for you just for that. Third exercise for your rotation, really easy. You just need a bench, a chair, a support like that to sit on, a stick and a weight. Now, the exercise goes like this. In the first and the second exercises for the rotation, we have seen some exercises where the force of gravity were pushing us down, all right? A weight and the force of gravity were pushing us down. And that is a passive rotation, which means that we're not really doing the job. The force of gravity and the weight are doing the job for us. Here, I have to move my body in a certain way to create this stretching effect, all right? So it's more active as a stretch, a little more active. It needs my movement, it needs my intention to create the stretch. What I do want to do, spread my legs apart, not too wide, shoulders width is okay. I put the stick toward my right, for example, to start, if I want to rotate toward my left and vice versa. Now, left hand in this case on the bottom, right hand at the top of the stick. Can you see? Now, with my left hand, I do want to pull. So I do want to move my bottom shoulder down. And with my right hand, I want to push. So I do want to move my top shoulder on top, back. All right? So I pull the shoulder, my bottom shoulder forward. I push my top shoulder back. I do want to create this rotation effect. As you can see here, I'm trying to move my trunk as perpendicular to the floor as possible. This is what creates this beautiful and amazing stretch. I can remain here 5, 10 or 20 breaths and switch sides. Of course, as I switch sides, I move the stick to the other side, bottom hand down, top hand here. I pull with my bottom hand, I push with my top hand, and I create this rotation effect. As you can see, I have to do something here in order to create the stretch. I have to pull and push with my arms in order to create the stretch. There's also a second variation that I can do with the weight, which is really similar. And this way I'm gonna use an additional resistance, and this is something I love. Now, I want to grab my knee with my hand and push my knee to the side like this. This is going to pull my bottom shoulder forward and down. I move my weight on top, and then I let the weight pull myself into the stretch. Wow, this is fantastic and so strong. Every 5 to 10 breaths, I do want to try to increase my rotation. I can stay here 10 to 20 breaths. Of course, I want to repeat the same concept from the other side. And this is how I want to do the third rotation stretch to increase my trunk, my rotation, and my overall body range of motion. Alright guys, now you know the best exercises you have to do if you want to increase your body rotation and to move better. Don't forget that if you liked this video, you can leave a thumb up and a comment down below. Ask me whatever you want. I do read all the comments. Last but not least, remember that if you want to work on your flexibility, you can jump on a free call with me. We can talk about your goals, your time availability, etc. And we can create a personalized program together. To do that, check the link in the description down below. With that said, thank you so much for staying with me. Have a nice stretch and see you in the next video. Bye. Hey, if you want to increase your flexibility, master your hamstrings and have a more capable body in general, you can download my Flexibility Guy app on your phone. Inside this wonderful and simple app, you're gonna find all the workouts, exercises, and video lessons you can follow to take yourself to the next level. You can check it out following the link in the description right now.